Ipatii, Potii, a nobleman, lettered, educated. Metropolitan Mikhailo Rohoza was succeeded by a very different bishop of a different generation, Ipatii, Potii, a nobleman, lettered, educated, formed in his youth as a Calvinist. Remember, there was the Protestant Reformation going on throughout Europe in the 16th century, and it had great impact in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. At one point, around the time of the birth of Ipatii Potii, it seemed that the Commonwealth might become a Protestant state. The nobility of the leaders, the elite, were becoming more and more Protestant. Ipatii Potii was born around the same time as Mikhailo Rohoza, about 1541. He had a strong formal education. He graduated from the University of Krakow. He had various political positions. He was a judge, he was a local administrator. This was a man that dealt with finances, business, politics, military issues, defense policy. In his mid-30s, Ipatii Potii went back to the religious roots of his family. So he left Protestantism and became what we would say today Orthodox. He became an Eastern Christian in the mid-1570s. 20 years later, in 1593, through the influence of Konstantin Ostrowski, a leading nobleman, we would call him a billionaire today, an oligarch, who was very concerned about reviving and strengthening Ruthenian, Ukrainian, and Belarusian culture and church life. Through his influence, Ipatii consented to become a bishop, and he became a leading member of the synod. So much so that he was chosen along with Kirill Terletsky, a much less lettered man, to represent the synod, the Church of Kiev, the Ruthenians of Ukraine and Belarus, to represent them in a delegation, through a delegation in Rome that went to see Pope Clement VIII in the fall of 1595. They were there when the Roman proclamation of the Union occurred on December 3rd. And Ipatii, coming to Rome, saw this effervescent revival of church life, of brotherhoods, of church hospitals, of schools, of publications. He and Kirill Terletsky traveled through northern Italy. If in Lviv the Brotherhood School had 30 or 40 students, the school system created by Charles Borromeo around Milan had 20,000 students. If at that time all of the Ruthenian books that had been published in the previous decades amounted to 70 titles, you could almost put them on one shelf. They were encountering entire libraries of books on all kinds of topics, from astronomy to theology, from scripture to zoology. And in Rome in 1590, the cupola of St. Peter's was completed, the same cupola, same St. Peter's that stands today. And we can imagine when they were leaving Ukraine, Potii and Terletsky knew Lviv. Lviv was the biggest city at that time, maybe 15,000 people. Rome had close to 90 or 100,000. But the biggest Eastern church in Lviv was the Church of the Dormition, which stands today, Uspenska Tsarkva, na Ruski Vulici, on Ruthenian Street. Now, size and numbers are not the criteria of the gospel, but they did reflect a vitality, a passion, a focus on spiritual things. And this is what Ipatii brought back in 1596 to Ruthenian lands. It was he, upon Metropolitan Mikhailo Rogoza's death, that was selected to be metropolitan. And he continued to foster the union, support the union, argue for it, write about it in polemical literature. He was an experienced administrator. He was a man of the nobility. He had connections. He had education. He had experienced a very intense trip through Western Europe, all the way to Rome. And all of this was part of his identity, his history, and his pastoral service. Ipatii Potii, like his successor, Veliamin Rudski, were people who changed, who moved. They were not just stuck in their own tradition. Remember, Ipatii Potii was a Calvinist, a Protestant, who made a change to go back to the Eastern tradition.